Hello again, welcome to the MasterCAM course. As you remember that we are creating our roughing process, and as a semi-finished process, we prefer to use the contour toolpath. After that, let me focus on this part. Actually, as you remember that we are creating our face toolpath. This is our face toolpath. And then we also need to be careful about that if this this face is actually Z0 position. So to be able to check that, let me turn to the wireframe and curve all edges, and then we need to select our face and then hit the OK button. Of course, before that, we need to turn back to the 3D and then select curve on all edges and hit the enter button. And then it's done right now. Let me turn back to actually home, and then we need to analyze our model. Okay, let me analyze that's models, that's geometry. We're gonna see that all the Z position is 0, so that's okay. So after that, we just need to focus on actually and that's radius. Okay, so this and that part is actually quite important for us. So to be able to handle this stuff, let me turn back to the 2D, and then I just need to make my Z position as a 25. So at that point, actually, I'm gonna try to create my actually boundary by actually using the Scallop high-speed toolpath. So to create my high-speed Scallop high-speed toolpath, I'm gonna start from here. That's gonna be actually my boundary. This is my boundary. Okay, let me delete all that part. I don't need to select all of them step by step. I'm gonna turn to the curve all edges, and then I need to select that space and hit the enter button. So this is gonna be my boundary. Okay, we have that's boundary actually. That's okay. We also need to actually the different boundary for actually for this part. Okay, that's okay. Let me turn to the curve one edges and options, and then we can start from here, here, and here, and then maybe and we can actually keep going and like this, and then that's okay. We can turn here, here, and here, and let me select my and the boundary actually like this one, and this one, and this one, and this is can be final point, and then this is actually flat face, so that's why we don't need to focus on this part. This is a Scallop toolpath. I can turn here and here, and then we should turn here and here, and then we're gonna focus on the outside of the boundary to this one. We can also select that one. That's also selected. This one and this one. It's a final. I can turn here and here. We can turn here. Okay. And then we can turn to this radius here. And that's okay. Okay, let me check my boundary. To be able to check my boundary, we can turn to the chain selection and then select our boundary like this. And then we're gonna see the some and little problems here. And then we can easily organize it. I think that's because of and this little radius here. So okay, anyway, let me check my boundary again. To creating boundary process, okay, it's fine right now, and can be some actually problem sometimes. Okay, let me turn back to here and surface high speed toolpath, and then actually we can prefer to use equal scallop toolpath. So we need to select our face, and actually we can select all of them and hit the enter button. And then after that we can turn to the 0 to 0. We don't want to see any finishing process here. And then we can turn to the toolpath control to organize our boundary. So that's going to be my boundary, but we're going to see some problem here. Let me turn back to here and oops, sorry. Yeah, after that maybe we should select that stuff. Let me hit the OK button, and then we can turn to the here to organize our boundary. Okay, that's fine. Let me turn to the parameters, and then we can select our boundary. This is my boundary 1 and this is my boundary 2. Okay, so we can be inside of this boundary. You can see that. And as a strategy side, we are working on actually equal scallop toolpath. You can also see here. And then we can see that as a strategy side, we can see the closed offsets, and we can also see the tool type here, and we can also select the inside part of our boundary. So let's focus on our tool. We can hit the create my tool options and next button, and it can be 6 millimeter maybe. And this is going to be my feed rate and my cutting speed. And then we can turn to the cut parameters. As a step over, we prefer to use 0.2 millimeters. So that scallop height is calculated according to my tool radius. And then we can also organize our angle. So which angle we should accept as a scallop toolpath, but we organize it by actually selecting our boundary. And then you can also see that this is the Z depth organization. You can easily organize your Z depth here. When we turn to here, this can be 5 millimeter as a clearance plane. And then that's it. We just need to hit here, and then we can easily calculate our scallop toolpath. So let me check my scallop toolpath here. Okay, that one is selected. So that is because of my boundary actually. We can turn to here, toolpath control, and tool boundary is actually selected. Actually, we need to change that stuff, okay? That is not be inside. We can select the center, okay? And then we can recalculate our toolpath. And then you're gonna see the all and machining process can be seen here, actually. Yeah. Can you see that all that stuff is calculated right now? So this is the perfect toolpath actually. So when we consider here our and the red boundary here, that's also gonna help us to create our and finishing process actually. Okay, so that part and that part is calculated right now, but this part, this face, and all of this face is not calculated right now. But we can also check out that stuff here. Let me turn back to 3D, and we can also create our boundary here and here. And then we can also analyze our and the distance. When we analyze our distance, that can be minus 25 millimeter. Okay, we can also consider that part. Yeah, that one is, yeah, this is the same. Okay, so we can easily create some actually pocket operation for and this part. But it's also possible to create some and actually and some 3D high-speed toolpath. Okay. Okay, let me check that stuff. Okay, which one is best for us? We can prefer to use this one. Okay, this is the Scallop toolpath. Actually, we can focus on the toolpath type. This is the Equio Scallop toolpath.